everyone, and welcome to this month's What's Happening in Your Community. I'm your host, Karen Cox, broker of record at C&Ski Realty. This month, rather than focusing on what's happening in our community, we thought we would share with you a unique look at what's happening with an amazing member of our community. Ashley came to us in June of this year, moving away from the city to her home in Grey County for a slower pace of life and to get more involved in the community when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. She has been an asset to the team at C&Ski, working hard behind the scenes to produce these episodes of what's happening in our community and being a valuable part of our marketing team. Today, we are going to chat with Ashley Warrington on her Miss Universe Canada journey as one of the 40 finalists from across Canada. Let's welcome Ashley to in front of the camera instead of behind it today. We are excited to hear all about your Miss Universe Canada journey.
Thanks, Karen. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm very nervous a little bit to be in front of the camera instead of behind it. So it's not so much my forte, but I'm very excited to be here.
Well, I thought you'd been used to it now after the weekend competing in the pageant for Miss Universe Canada.
That's it now. Honestly, I've become a pro at it, I think, because this past week has been crazy, and I think knowing where each camera is has been the most tricky part. But I mean, I've loved the experience, and honestly, I'm excited to tell you all about it.
That's awesome. So I was just going to ask you, tell us a little bit why you decided to enter the Miss Universe Canada competition, and what is it that made you want to take on this journey?
Well, when I was 18, I had the amazing honor of being crowned my local fair ambassador in Feversham, and honestly, the things that I learned from that, the confidence that I gained, the people that I met, the experience overall changed my life. And I knew that this was definitely an industry and a path that I wanted to take. And when I found out what Miss Universe Canada platform represented and the kind of things that I would get to experience, I knew that it was definitely something that I wanted to do off of my bucket list. As well as I'm an aunt of two beautiful nieces, and I wanted to be an inspiration to them and set an example for them that if they can dream it, they can achieve it. And honestly, it was something that I wanted to take on to show them that women are powerful, they are powerful, and they can achieve anything that they want.
Each of the delegates in the Miss Universe Canada competition or pageant usually has a platform that they are representing. Can you tell us a little bit about what your platform was?
Absolutely. So mine's very simple. I'm inspired by empowering and inspiring today's youth to be tomorrow's leaders. That is so important to me, and giving them the opportunity to understand that their dreams are achievable, no matter their age, race, gender, size. They can achieve their dreams no matter what they want, no matter what they want to make happen, they can make happen if they set those goals.
That's very inspirational. That's very sort of how you live your life, yes. I think, right?
Yes.
And I believe there's a lot of misconceptions about beauty pageants or Miss Universe Canada pageant. So what does it mean to you, and what do you say to those people that think it's all about a beauty pageant?
Well, for me personally, a lot of the competition and why I entered in the first place is the humanitarian aspect of it. So the amount of volunteering and the involvement that you get from being a part of this competition is huge. The people you meet, the opportunities that you're given, I think that's so important. And I think the misconception is that it's all about beauty and how they look and how pretty they look on camera, when it's not. It's about how you're getting involved. It's about how you're being a leader. It's about how you're contributing and empowering other women. And I think that's the misconception. And they don't see it as something that's empowering. They see it as something that's unfortunately belittling or, just showing women off in a different way. But I think it needs to be seen as something that's empowering and inspiring other people to be leaders and volunteers in their communities.
And I guess it's looking at it as an experience to grow. Yeah. It's a stage to present your platform to the nation and to the universe.
Exactly, 100%.
The humanitarian work and volunteering in the community plays an important role in this competition, I'm understanding from what you're saying. And I'm sure raising awareness and funds for this year's competition, the charities that the ones that were involved, probably posed its own set of challenges this year during COVID. So tell us a little bit about how you raise funds in this community.
Well, that's actually my favorite part of the whole competition, was how much I got to be involved in the community, raising support and effort efforts towards raising funds for SOS Children's Villages, which was my assigned charity. We originally had a handful of events that we wanted to do planned. We wanted to do a yoga and breathwork seminar. We wanted to do a drive-in movie theater with the Kinsmen, but unfortunately those weren't able to happen. But we did have 3 amazing events that were really successful. One of them was we had a community yard sale. So we got to recycle, thrift a lot of the local items that would have been put into landfills. We got to reuse them, go to families that would need them, as well as any leftover items from the yard sale actually got donated and is being donated to Salvation Army, E3 Communities, and Habitat for Humanity. So not only did that yard sale help SOS Children's Villages, our own people in our community, but it also helped other organizations as well. The second event was the trivia night, which you guys were all there, and many of the community members were there, and it was a really awesome night. We did really, really well. We all came together, felt like a normal night together in our bubbles, and had some really fun playing trivia, supporting a local business, Mylar and Loretta's, and just really enjoying and being a part of a community that's supporting a great charity was the best part of the night. And just how much support that I got that night, not only for myself, but also for the charity. So I think that was honestly the best part of the competition was that event, because I got to be with the community supporting another great cause. The third event was an online virtual workout, which I did with Jonas DeLine from Collingwood. He is an active lifestyle coach, and he volunteered to do an online workout, and then any donations during that event went towards SOS Children's Villages. So that was another really great event. Supports personal health, wellness, as well as raising awareness in the community, both online and offline. So it was a really great overall experience for all 3 of those events, and cumulatively it raised over $2,500, plus a few extra donations that came in outside of those events. So honestly, it was a really great experience overall for SOS.
That's awesome, and that was very difficult during COVID.
Yes.
I can appreciate that. So you yourself raised over $2,500 for SOS Villages. How did the whole pageant do?
So the whole pageant, cumulatively, there are 2 charities actually that were involved. There was SOS Children's Villages, but there was also Feed It Forward, which is a local charity out of Toronto. Their whole is helping families with food insecurities and food recycling, so that food that is coming up to an expiration, they recycle it and put it into meals so that it doesn't end up in the landfill. So I think it's another really great charity that we got to be involved with. Overall, in the competition, all of us contestants, we raised over $40,000 for these charities.
Wow, that's
Yes.
amazing during COVID.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of the charitable organizations are having trouble raising funds during the pandemic because they can't do their normal fundraising activities. So for the pageant to get behind that and raise that amount of money during this time is just amazing, and that's really a hats off to all of the delegates, because it was the delegates who raised the funds for the 2 charities. So I guess there was 2 charities involved. Yours was SOS, Children's Villages, and then there was Feed It Forward. So you were involved with Feed It Forward because you went down and involved for Thanksgiving, if I recall.
Yes, so I like to take any opportunity if I see an opportunity to volunteer, make a difference, or just take a part in an organization like Feed It Forward. On Thanksgiving, as we did we made 750 meals for the homeless and people with food insecurities across the GTA. So that was an amazing experience, coming together with all those awesome ladies and being a great team, and pulling off that in 4 hours was an amazing accomplishment. As well as we participated in a truck pull. So that felt right at home for me, coming from Grey County, being a part of a truck pull. So we didn't have to do it in heels, luckily. We got to wear running shoes, so that made it a little easier.
Yeah.
But the best part of that was there's a group of 10 of us, 9 actually, that pulled a 10-ton truck 100 feet. And part of that, we did fundraising for that as well. So I raised $100 for that, which was amazing. And just being able to be a part of a team that we really used our inner strength and outer strength to make that possible. We pulled the truck in 16.69 seconds. So we came in 2nd or 3rd, I think, of all the teams. So I mean, hey, I think that was amazing considering, there was only 9 of us. And yeah, I think that was, honestly, being able to be a part of Feed It Forward was a lot of fun as well. And meeting with Chef Jagger Gordon, he's an inspiration as well. And honestly, it was a great experience overall.
That sounds awesome. Okay, so leading up to the competition, what kind of preparations did you have to get involved in, or what did you do?
There was a number of things. One of them being I had a fitness trainer, which was Jonas DeLine, the one that helped me do the online virtual workouts. I met with him virtually a few times as well as in person a few times too, and then he made me a workout schedule. I worked out 3-4 days a week. I had a really strict meal plan that I had to stick to. that was honestly hard because Thanksgiving was right there, so
And you love pie.
I love my pie. Everyone knows that. So that was the trickiest part. But honestly, that was a really fun aspect because I never really got into really working out. I'm more of a yoga active lifestyle. So being able to work out experience, that was honestly a great journey for me. As well as I worked with you and some of the other members of the team, Bailey, to do a workshop to work on my public speaking skills, to create a real solid foundation for my platform moving forward throughout this competition. And I really appreciate your help for that. I mean, honestly, you know a lot about this industry and how to speak, so that was really, really amazing. Thank you for that.
That was my pleasure. I was happy to help you along on your journey. I think it's been a great growth experience, and it's brought you more out of your shell.
Yeah.
Not that you needed that in any ways, and taught you some more leadership skills.
Yes. Oh, 100%. 100%. And then a part of that also being I had a runway coach, a posing coach, named Gina. She was amazing. She honestly pumped me up every day. She even had me walking at the YMCA in the parking lot to face the fear of being embarrassed. So everyone watched me walking and strutting my stuff downtown Collingwood, just facing my fears, not feeling confident. She was amazing and she kicked my butt, but in the best kind of way. So I'm really grateful for Gina as well for teaching me how to practice my on-stage presence. As well as I went to rehearsals almost every Sunday since the end of August, meeting with the choreographer for the competition. So we had to learn a dance routine as a part of the competition. And so we had to go and learn the choreography every Sunday. So I was there for 3 hours in Toronto getting that done as well. So there was a lot of preparation both here in the community as well as me going to the city to get ready for the actual performance.
And that probably is a small amount of time in preparation. It sounds like a lot, and it was a lot, because I could see it from behind the scenes of what you were doing. But competition week is probably a very stressful, tiring, long hours. So tell us about that week, because I can visualize it, I can see it, I can think what it's going to be like, but tell us exactly what that week was like.
Honestly, I thought it was going to be more of a sprint when I should have prepared myself for a marathon. It was a great week. I grew in so many different ways. The people I met, first of all, some of the women that were there, so inspiring. They've done amazing things in their own communities that I can learn from, that I got inspired from. But the actual effort that went into that week from the choreographer Gino, he's such an inspiration as well. The amount of work and effort he had to go through adjusting to the COVID preparations, making sure we're always 6 feet apart, but keeping 40 girls 6 feet apart on a stage or on a show is really, really hard work. So props to him for pulling off an amazing choreographed routine, as well as keeping us all in line for that entire week. We had a schedule that was kind of up in the air a lot of the time because we didn't know who could be where, and we had to keep everything, by COVID standards. So we wanted to make sure that was always followed. So we had early mornings. We were up 6 a.m. ready to catch buses as a group. Our breakfasts were delivered to our bedrooms, which was pretty nice.
That sounds like royalty.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. And then we would go to the venue and we would rehearse probably from 8 a.m. till we'd be there till about 9, 10 p.m. So we were there full days.
Yes, that's a full day.
Yeah.
That's a very long day. And being on your feet, dancing, doing routines, and then you would have probably sessions where you were being asked questions and being interviewed. So it was always your best foot forward, game on, right?
100%. So that throughout the week they had workshops that they did with us, how to be interviewed, how to answer a question on stage, how to prepare your speeches. We had to give a little 5-minute speech if we had to, if we made top 5. So it was a lot of things that they were preparing us for the actual show, on the final show on the Saturday. As well as we had our Humanitarian Presentations that week, which was the best part for me. That was what I was most excited about, and I was honored to be in the top 3 for the Humanitarian Award, and that was honestly a great goal and achievement for me because, as you know, that was where a lot of my effort went for this competition. And so that was on the Monday, the first day we were there. They kind of just threw us right into it, right in with the judges, and I think it was a great way to start it because it kind of prepared us for what kind of week we had ahead of us. But it was fun. We got hair and makeup done. We had an amazing crew of people doing that for us behind stage. Every woman there honestly had each other's back, and I think that was what the greatest part was, is if one person was running off and on the stage, had to change into a swimsuit or change into their gown, there'd be another girl there zipping her up, helping her tie up. I think that was the coolest part, is seeing such a competitive atmosphere, but yet so much teamwork still happening. And I think that was something that I took from the backstage side of things. That was the biggest thing I took from that.
No, and that's a good life lesson too, is camaraderie.
Yeah.
You may have different goals, you may be competing against one another for that title, but you still have that teamwork happening.
Exactly.
That's an awesome
Yeah.
lesson to learn.
Yes.
So now let's talk about the preliminaries on Thursday and the finals on Saturday. What did those days look like? Because I'm sure those days are a little longer, a little more tense, a little bit nerve-wracking. And what was it like being on the stage for the finals?
Luckily, because of my history of being on stage and being a dancer, being on stage, that wasn't the nerve-wracking part. The nerve-wracking part was honestly, the runway. It's like your time to shine, but you only have about 15 seconds, not even, to really capture the judge's attention. I think that's where I felt the most nervous, as well as the speaking on stage. So I've always felt comfortable for the most part speaking on, but that's where I felt the most nerves, was practicing what I wanted to say on stage, if that came to it. And my favorite part of the whole preliminary competition especially was the dance routines. So I've become pretty close to a lot of these women, and especially the choreography and the dance part of it. We've had partnerships, we had partners throughout the whole dance routine, and I think the best part of the preliminary show was we had the tall group and the small group in the dancing. So the tall people danced first and the shorter people danced second. Our group, as soon as our song came on and started to play, it started playing the wrong song. And so instead of all of us pausing and freezing and not knowing what to do, we all just kept going, keeping our 8 counts, and honestly we pulled it off, and we did the same dance routine that we would have done in one song to a completely different random song. And we pulled it off, and I think the teamwork and just how we all worked so well together to pull that off and still put on a great show in the preliminaries, I was so proud of all of us. And I think that really shows how much dedication and work and focus all of us had going into the preliminaries, and I think that was overall my greatest story from the preliminary aspect. We had Friday, we also had the interviews with the judges. So we actually had one-on-one, kind of speed dating style, with each of the 4 judges for the finals, and overall they're such nice, friendly, just regular people when you really just look at it. And a lot of us went in there thinking, oh, it's the judges. But they're humans, they're all there to make a difference, do their own platforms as well. And I think once we realized that, it was such a great just conversation that we were able to have with the judges. So overall judging, I think, went really, really well on the Friday for everybody. The finals was the big day. All of us woke up, we had an early morning start. We had to be on the buses and be at the venue by 8:30. And the show, we were going to pre-tape it this year, so a little bit different. So we knew that it was going to be at 4 p.m. And so we had rehearsals from the moment we got there at 8 till about 12 o'clock, 12:30, we did rehearsals. Like, we were doing a full run of the show just to practice that. And from there we had hair and makeup, everything from there, and then the show started at 4 o'clock. And the crazy part is we couldn't tell our families or anybody what the results were. And because it's being pre-taped, so it felt like we were on the episode of A Bachelor, because we knew, but no one else knew. And it was so exciting. And the women that went on to place in the top 5 and even the top 20, and then the winner Nova, who honestly deserved it so much. She's put in so much work and dedication into her platform and herself and just building herself, and you can really see over the years how she grew. And I think generally overall she is an inspiration to all of us who competed, because she never gave up. This wasn't her first time competing, and she knew what she wanted and she went after that, and that I find so much respect for, because then that is something that I stand for as well, is you just keep going after you want. She did. She definitely deserved to win the title. So honestly, the finals was a great experience. We all got closer. Each of us became friends. After the show, we all stayed on stage. No one wanted to leave. No one wanted it to be over. It was like we all want to stay in our beautiful gowns. We all just wanted to cheer each other on for just what a week we went through, and how all of us just kept strong and kept going through. And that was honestly the best part, was afterwards, just the celebrating of the week that we all just, worked hard for. And I had the amazing honor of receiving the Leadership Award, which honestly means the world to me. I couldn't have asked for a better outcome. I think this is mostly my goal going into this competition anyway, is to be an inspiration to today's youth to be tomorrow's leaders, and even just pumping up and promoting those other girls in the competition, that they're amazing. They made it to top 40. They're incredible. I wanted to make sure, and I want all the women to know that we're in this competition, that they were amazing and they deserve to also be leaders, because to me, they're all leaders in their own communities for even just participating. So I was honored to be able to be chosen for this award, the first ever to receive it, so thank you to Miss Universe Canada for that as well.
Wow, sounds like an amazing and a busy week
It was.
and a great outcome.
Yes.
It sounds like you've learned some nice life lessons that you can take forward, and I can understand why you won the leadership, the Leaders Award, and I think it's great that they made you the first recipient. That is amazing, and I can see your leadership growing, and the sky's the limit to where you can go with it. And this is just another sort of stepping stone or a page in the process of your development. It's amazing. Now, for the community, I'm sure we're all anxious to see how our local representative delegate done in this competition, because it's exciting to have someone from our own community here in Grey County actually participate in this Universe Canada. So tell us about how we can actually watch the show.
So it's actually, today is the big day. It's being broadcasted on the Miss Universe Canada website as well as on their YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is the easiest one to access. They're going to be doing a full stream of the final show with, I believe, with some sneak peeks of the preliminary as well. So today it's supposed to be coming out. So if you want to find an opportunity to see that, it's on the Miss Universe Canada website, as well as any other social media platforms you can find a link to as well. So you can watch it. It'll be live today, and I'm excited to see it myself, honestly.
So you would go to missuniversecanada.ca and click into their YouTube channel, and you'd be able to watch it.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome,
Yeah.
Great. This is a tough question, because now you've had time to reflect and think back to that busy week, the last couple of days. So if you were to do this again, what would you do differently? And what advice would you give to someone else, especially someone from our local community that would be looking to do something like this and enter one of these pageants?
One thing that I would do differently if I were to compete again would definitely be to have more preparation time. So I signed up or got accepted to be top 40 back in August, but they actually had signups back earlier in the spring. So I feel like definitely if I were to compete again, I need to have a higher expectation, a higher standard to how much time it takes to prepare for something like this. I definitely feel like I put in a lot of effort, but I definitely see where I can improve, and the amount of time that I put in prior to the actual competition, I feel like it would have been better to have signed up sooner, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and as you indicated, the winner, Nova, this wasn't her first time entering the competition. It was her third
time.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think what I read. So, you know, you learn each time.
Exactly.
When you're in one of these competitions, and you learn from that experience, and so it's always a great experience because you learn something that you can play it forward, right? And if you're playing it forward, what sort of advice would you give to someone in our local community that may be looking at this? Because this is a great learning experience.
Exactly. I think, honestly, if you have any thoughts about participating in a pageant or even local pageants, even in Grey County, it is such a rewarding experience. It's not only confidence building, it's not only just you develop so many more skills, you get involved in your community, but it's just the mindset that it creates in you that you can achieve your goals, you can be involved in your community, you can make a difference, and this is a great opportunity, it's a great doorway to get into that, especially even if you don't even want to be a public speaker or someone who's in the eye, even if you wanted to be even a doctor or a teacher, it's a great opportunity to get experience in any of those industries because it really builds up your confidence and just your exposure.
Wow, it sounds like it's an amazing experience. It did build up your confidence. It was life skills that you learned that you can play forward. It was great building your leadership and the camaraderie. You know, I think some of those individuals that you competed against, the other delegates, will be friends for a long time.
100%,
and you can learn from one another. So I think overall, it was a great experience.
It was.
Yeah,
It really was.
is what I'm hearing from you.
It
So thanks again, Ashley,
It was my pleasure.
for coming on the show today and telling us about your Miss Universe Canada experience and your journey throughout the pageant. It sounds amazing, and what's been happening with you with that? That is awesome. So it's inspiring to hear that journey, and especially from somebody from Grey County, from our own community.
Well, thanks, Karen, and honestly, I'm so grateful for everyone at Sea and Ski for being so supportive and having my back, and everyone in the community who has been there to support me, as well as the charity that I represented. It has been such an amazing experience, and I was so honored and so grateful to represent such an amazing community.
Well, that's it for today. We invite you to tell us about what sort of topics you would like to hear about and what guests you would like to see on the next What's Happening episode next month or future months. You can contact us on any of our social media accounts, as well as you can email us at info@seandskirealty.ca. We are also very excited to share that you can enjoy this content everywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. Episodes can be viewed on all of our social media accounts, and you can also visit seandskirealty.ca/what's happening, where you can watch all of our content. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll talk to you soon.